Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to completely flip your perspective on something you probably do every single day. See, most of us just naturally think of reading as a basic mechanical skill, right? You look at some letters, you sound them out, and boom, you say the words. But today, we're actually going to reframe reading for what it truly is, a highly complex, real-world cognitive superpower. By the time we wrap up this explainer, I promise you're going to look at the text on your screen in a completely different way.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, beyond decoding words. Then, 3 levels of meaning. After that, the science of reading. Fourth, connecting to critical thinking. And finally, real-world applications.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Beyond Decoding Words, the what of comprehension.
I want you to ask yourself a quick metacognitive question right now. What is the true objective of reading? Like, really think about how your brain is actively processing the words on this screen in real time. Are you just recognizing the shapes of the letters, or is your brain instantly pulling up this massive web of background knowledge to give those shapes meaning? The actual objective of reading isn't just to recite something back, it's to extract, interact with, and completely recreate the author's intended message inside your own mind.
The research from cognitive psychologists like Craik and Lockhart brilliantly highlights this difference. They talk about shallow processing, which is honestly where a lot of struggling readers get stuck. That's the structural and phonemic stuff, basically just figuring out how a word sounds or how a sentence is built. But the true objective is deep processing. This is where the magic happens, the semantic connection. It's when your brain takes a decoded word and instantly integrates it with your prior knowledge, so you're interpreting the text instead of just staring at it.
Section 2, 3 levels of meaning, the mechanics.
Back in a landmark 1978 classroom study, reading expert Dolores Sturkin found something super fascinating. Teachers were constantly testing comprehension by asking questions, but they were rarely, if ever, actually explicitly teaching students how to comprehend. This was a massive wake-up call for educators everywhere, because comprehension isn't just some natural byproduct that happens when you read words out loud. It's a specific, concrete set of strategies that absolutely has to be explicitly taught and practiced.
Let's move to and see how this builds across 3 distinct levels of comprehension. Step 1 is literal comprehension. This is your foundation. It's answering the who, what, when, and where. Just the facts right there on the page. Step 2 is inferential. Now you're reading between the lines, using context clues to figure out things the author is implying but not explicitly saying. And finally, step 3 is evaluative. This is the absolute peak. Here, you're thinking critically about the entire text, uncovering hidden messages, spotting author bias, and forming your own independent judgments. And the kicker? You can't even touch step 3 without mastering steps 1 and 2 first.
Section 3, the science of reading, building the foundation.
So, there are 5 foundational pillars to the science of reading. Phonemic awareness, which is hearing sounds. Phonics, matching sounds to letters. Fluency, reading smoothly. Vocabulary, knowing what words mean. And of course, comprehension. Now, here is why this matters so much. Your brain has a limited working memory. Think of it like RAM in a computer. If a reader is spending all their cognitive energy just trying to decode words using phonics, their working memory gets completely tapped out. There is literally no brain power left over for comprehension. So fluency and vocabulary have to become automatic. That way your brain can focus 100% of its energy on finding meaning.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly everyday, common mistakes map directly to cognitive solutions. Think about the mistakes we all make. Reading way too fast, just guessing an answer instead of deducing it, or completely glossing over crucial constraint words like not or except. Those are classic signs of shallow processing. The cognitive solutions, things like active monitoring and prioritizing strict logic over guessing, these force the brain right back into deep evaluative processing. It's really about training your mind to actively interrogate the text.
And honestly, this is exactly why modern, well-designed assessments are so vital. A truly good reading assessment isn't just some tool used to rank students against each other. It's a highly targeted diagnostic instrument. It isolates specific processes, like testing a student's ability to interpret connections across 2 adjacent sentences. By untangling all these complex reading skills, we can figure out exactly where the cognitive breakdown is happening and then target our teaching to actually fix it.
Section 4, connecting to critical thinking, the payoff.
Let's get really clear on our terms for a second. Critical thinking is the ability to thoroughly analyze information before you just accept it. It's asking the right questions, separating cold, hard facts from subjective opinions, and evaluating a situation from multiple viewpoints. And hey, if that sounds incredibly familiar, it's because this is practically the exact definition of the evaluative level of reading comprehension we just talked about. They are totally intrinsically linked. So the crucial point is, strong reading comprehension is basically the ultimate secret weapon for mastering other subjects. It's what allows you to connect complex ideas. It trains your brain to spot author bias from a mile away. It gives you the framework to properly evaluate evidence. Whether you're analyzing a historical document, breaking down the steps of a science experiment, or deciphering a really tricky math word problem, reading comprehension is the engine that builds an independent, highly confident learner.
Section 5. Real-world applications.
The why it matters.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we care about this outside the classroom. Just look at these high-level professions. Scientists reading through years of previous research to formulate brand new hypotheses. Journalists rigorously evaluating competing facts before they report a story. Engineers breaking down ridiculously complex system requirements to build solutions. Lawyers interpreting incredibly dense case law to form a logical argument. None of these people are just decoding words. They're engaging in intense, high-stakes evaluative reading every single day.
We also see this pop up constantly in high-stakes testing environments. Think about exams like the SAT, the ACT, AP tests, or graduate exams like the GMAT or GRE. These tests fundamentally aren't just testing your rote memorization of facts. They're actually testing your ability to logically process complex text, rapidly make inferences, and draw accurate conclusions under extreme time pressure. And even beyond tests and careers, it's how we navigate daily adult life. From reading a complex job contract to impartially processing the daily news without being totally misled by bias or logical fallacies.
So I'll leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought. You just absorbed all the information in this explainer, but did you truly comprehend it? Did you stop at literal processing, or did you make inferential connections to your own life and your own habits? The very next time you read an article, an email, or a report, I want to challenge you to push past the shallow decoding, engage that cognitive superpower we talked about, and read to truly comprehend.